What is damage? In this video, we're going to go over what insurance companies may pay for as damage versus what they may not pay for. First off, the only way to know for sure is to check with a licensed agent. Every policy is different. So we have damage, and we're going to split this up into two sections. Storm related versus not. Now, generally speaking, what insurance companies would cover are the storm-related damages, which will be things like wind damage, hail damage, maybe something like fallen debris, like if you have a tree branch fall down, a whole tree itself. Things that are not necessarily storm related, but are still damage to your roof could be things like blistering, could be like varmint damage, like raccoons, squirrels, things like that. Could be wear and tear, could be granule loss. Those are the big ones. There's more, but these are kind of the main ones that most homeowners will see over time with age. Wind damage can present itself in a few different ways. This can be missing shingles, which is kind of the obvious one. This is what, most people recognize and kind of see. Wind damage can also happen with creased shingles. This is just where the shingle comes unsealed and the wind just kind of blows it up and it flaps back and forth and it creates a crease in the shingles. This is really hard to see from the ground because when you're standing in your driveway, you're looking up and you still see the shingles on your roof. You can't necessarily see those creases. Wind damage can also be pull-throughs, which basically is where the nails pull through. What happens in this scenario is there's a couple shingles that come unsealed and the wind catches them and lifts, kind of gets a kite effect underneath the shingles and pulls through the fasteners. And whenever you lift it up and you investigate further, you start to notice that all of the fasteners that were securing those shingles to the roof are pulled all the way through the shingle. They've pulled up through the nail heads. And so you're literally just able to lift giant sections of shingles off of your roof and they just kind of lay back down. And the only thing that's really holding them there is the adhesive to each other. So they're just kind of glued together and they're not actually fastened to the decking of the roof. Those are going to be the biggest ones. There's some, weird things that might happen outside of that, but these are typically what we see the most during inspections, what you start to see with older roofs, what you see with roofs that have been in storm areas with storm damage. And so just to recap here, we have damages that are storm related. These are nothing you can do about these. And these, again, typically we see insurance companies pay for these types of damages. So these could be insurance related. And then we have the not storm damage. Again, you may have a policy that for some reason covers these or excludes something. There may be nuances, but the only way to know for sure, check with your agent. But again, in our experience, the not storm related damages are typically excluded. These aren't things that insurance would owe for, especially things like wear and tear. It just doesn't make sense. Wear and tear comes with age and your roof is like anything else. It requires maintenance, and if you're not maintaining it over the years, then it's going to age quicker, things are going to happen, and ultimately that maintenance falls on you, the property owner.